Hello, Healing Spot community. I am doing a Facebook Live today on the Mind-Body Complex, and I am trying this a different way, so we'll see if this works on Facebook or not. But so we're talking today about the Mind-Body Complex, and this is something that I guess as I've done more work with myofascial release, this is something that I have learned more about, kind of how our body communicates and takes in information, and I wanted to share just a little bit of highlights today with that. So you know, I think I'm struggling just a little bit how to start. So I guess, you know, I don't know if you know my own kind of healing journey for headaches, and I didn't realize how much my emotions and memories and things that had happened to me in life were contributing to the pain I was experiencing in my body. And it really wasn't until I took a myofascial release course with John Barnes that I really came into contact with this, and it really changed how I started to look at my own pain, but then help other people. And so after doing training the last 6 years and putting this all into play, really come to realize that I think the mind and the body are a little more connected than what we were originally, or at least what I was originally taught in physical therapy school. So it's really by acknowledging that physical pain, there's going to be some mental, emotional things that come along with suffering, and suffering through physical ailments or diseases or limitations. There is a mental component to that, an emotional component. And so on the flip side of that is, if you're having some mental emotional pain, can that lead to some physical discomfort? So I'm gonna just invite you today to come along with me as I kind of explore this a little bit more. So have you ever had an injury or traumatic event in your life? Okay, I'm going to give some examples here in a little bit, but have you ever had, you know, an injury? So, and how did that start affecting how you started viewing the world and yourself and your role in the world and what you were able to then do? Okay, didn't that take a toll on you emotionally and physically? And did that contribute to the next time that you, like, let's say a car accident, for instance, if you ever had a car accident, you know, did you ever, even after you healed from that, did you ever have an issue of like where you were set up in almost that same, you kind of see a car coming and you flash back to that time that you got hit? You know, does your body brace and hold against that particular car accident, even if that, you know, this time that car misses you? Okay, so it's kind of that bracing and holding and that memory. Your body remembers everything that's happened to it. So imagine kind of the following scenarios. So if you're a star football player and you tear your ACL, okay, let's say it's your senior year, you are a great football player and you tear your ACL and you need surgery. How is that going to affect you? Okay, can you imagine that mentally, emotionally, you're super disappointed. You may miss out on your ability to get a scholarship. You can't play with your team. You know, something that really brings you joy physically and mentally, you're not able to do, of course. So you can't just say, okay, yep, I had this ACL tear and nothing, this isn't impacting me in any other way. So absolutely, I feel like they're intertwined. Take like a recreational runner that sprains their ankle. Maybe I have a friend that's training for a 10K. I mean, she's not hurt, but let's just take, what if she gets hurt? You know, she has this 10K coming up, she's training with her knees, and this is a really big goal of hers, and now all of a sudden can't run, okay, can't complete that goal. Of course you're going to be disappointed, and your body's going to start getting deconditioned, and you're going to have to go through that cycle of decondition back to conditioning after the fact that you get rehabbed. Okay, how about take an elderly person that maybe falls at home, can't take care of themselves, and they end up in long-term care. Even if it's just a short time, it's kind of meant to be temporary, but this person has to go into a nursing home temporarily to rehab and get the strength back, and maybe work on rehabbing a broken bone or whatever. But this person isn't necessarily liking the situation, right? They start to get depressed. They don't want to get out of the room. They don't want to interact with people. They don't want to do anything. They refuse to do exercises. Pretty soon they're in a wheelchair, and then the chances of them being able to go home So, you can kind of see that intertwining of the physical and the mental emotional. Okay. How about a child, take for instance, that grows up in a situation in a home that they're scared and mom and dad are fighting, and maybe the child physically isn't in a lot of danger, hasn't been hurt, but they're afraid. And so they kind of sit in class and they sit with poor posture, and they're afraid to speak up. And, their thoughts are going, that they feel like the world is an unsafe place because home is not safe. And so don't you think that would start to take a toll on tightness into the chest, maybe into the neck, lead to some headaches, that kind of thing? So, again, you can kind of imagine that there could be an injury, then the mental emotional, or there could be this mental emotional leading to some kind of musculoskeletal pain. So just kind of recall your own injuries, traumas, or even life circumstances. If you've had a physical limitation, how has that affected you? Okay. Did you worry about when you were going to get better again? When you're going to be able to get out and take care of your kids? Are you having to rely on other people? Okay. Does that feel uncomfortable to have to ask for help? Okay. For a lot of people, this is reality. So hi, Sarah. Thanks for joining. All right, so you're just saying I haven't been in a car accident, but I'm sorry, I'm having to like turn my head. I can see it affects my mood. Yeah, absolutely. Don't you get kind of cranky? And if you're a mom and you're in pain and you're like, we're supposed to be able to take care of our kids, right? And pay attention to them. And if you have lower back pain and you're in a bad mood, don't you kind of get short with them and, that kind of stuff. So yeah, absolutely. It affects your ability to maybe concentrate at work or do the things that you want to do. So I'm just going to give you some examples. So just take a moment right now to try this. So I'm going to say some emotions, and I want you to see, where do you feel this in your body? Like typically. So if I said stressed, where in your body does it light up? Do you think, oh yeah, I hold my stress here. I hold my stress in my stomach. I hold it in my jaw. Like where do you, very cranky, where do you feel that? So can you see that connection? How about feeling angry? Where do you feel that in your body? And can you imagine that, anger, it might be in your jaw, and like keeping your mouth shut because you can't speak up. Okay. It's not socially accepted to burst out, right? So we have to be angry in a more polite way or whatever. Okay, so maybe that could set your jaw. Maybe you start having some jaw pain or down into your neck. How about frustration? Where do you feel that? Again, is it in the pit of your stomach? Do you clench your butt up? Do you keep your knees together, when you're frustrated? Do you clench your hands? Where is that maybe possibly leading to some musculoskeletal things? With back pain, what I have my patients do too is I look at this myself, but also bring their attention to this, the front of the body. So we think about, if it hurts in the back of our body, it hurts in our lower back, it must be an issue with the back. Okay, but not necessarily. I always look at the front. What's going on in the front? If you worry a lot, guess what? All of that's going into, your intestines and all of that soft tissue around there, and it starts to get kind of clamped down. And so pretty soon it can start to put pressure and pull, and the psoas muscles. Those are really deep abdominal muscles that attach onto the front side of the low back. So if people aren't looking at the psoas and looking at the front of you, guess what? They're going to miss why possibly you're having pain. Or if they completely ignore the fact that you get cranky and this is really affecting your mental state of mind, and that you worry a lot and whatever's on your mind, that might need to be addressed in addition to some physical therapy, but even getting some tools from a mental health provider to help you through some of this. Okay. How about sadness? Where do you feel that? Do you feel it here? Do you feel it in your throat? Do you feel it in your face? Okay, so you can imagine all of this going here. Could that be pulling you forward and causing your shoulders to get tight, causing some neck pain, tension? Okay, so think about this. How about, I already mentioned it, worrying. So having that butterflies in the stomach, this constant worry wart, how is that affecting you on that musculoskeletal state? Feeling scared, okay? So anyway, those are just some examples, and hopefully this helps you to see how they're interconnected. So let's take, if these things happen long enough, let's say anxiousness and worriness, like wouldn't that affect your blood pressure all right? And wouldn't that maybe start affecting how your heart's beating, and maybe some restrictions up and through here, again, into your intestines, maybe leading to things like irritable bowel syndrome, chronic constipation. That's going to affect your pelvic floor muscles. It's going to affect how you're feeling in your back. Okay, maybe pulling you down. Maybe it's neck pain that you're feeling, but because of all of this, pulling you down and pulling you forward, your neck's trying to keep you upright, but it's all the stuff pulling you down from the stomach. Anger, I already mentioned, so maybe some tightening in the jaw leading to some TMJ and the jaw not lining up right. Okay, maybe leading to some neck pain, headaches, migraines, that kind of thing. So anyway, I just wanted to bring in that information today and get you guys thinking. If you have any other questions or comments, please let me know. I'm happy to share, what I've learned and what I've seen in my patients. And I feel like the more I've been able to acknowledge that, hey, you're not just your tendons and muscles and nerves, that there's this other thing called life all around us, and we have to acknowledge that too in physical therapy treatment. So, all right, thanks for joining me this Monday. Stay tuned. This week I'm going to give you some tips in my blog about ways that you can connect more to your mind-body connection, or mind-body connection, and give you some tips to jumpstart that. So, all right, thank you.